And we're live. What's up, fellas? This is Wendell Sports. This is NBA Pre-Lock. This is Tony. This is Adam. This is Ghost. We're all here, all three of us tonight. We got the three-peat for 11-game NBA slate, the biggest slate you're going to see before the much-needed All-Star break for all of us, even the players. We could use the break. But as always, give us a follow at Wendell Sports. Check us out, WendellSports.com. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscription button. Make sure you're signing up for the Win Daily Discord. Make sure you're signing up for the Win Daily membership. Get those projection models. Get the articles. You've seen the DFS Ghost Gems by both of the guys that came out today. It was posted early 10 a.m. like it always is. A lot of games on the map. But again, listen, like we always do, check in with your comments. Give us your plays. We'll get the one we can. We're going to go by the top games of the slate. And Ghost, is there any secret? I mean, are we going to go all in on the Brooklyn Nets tonight? I don't know. Is that what we're doing?
It's terrifying, man. It's absolutely terrifying. Their prices haven't moved. They're going to be stone chalk. It's terrifying. People chasing Bruce Brown and his like 8 steals from last game, like that boat might have already sailed, man. I don't know if I'm going to be on board with that one.
It's going to be tough. Adam, we were talking about this off air, right?
Yeah, I mean, the ownership has shifted a little bit to where some of the Nets aren't quite as chalky, but Bruce Brown right now is still the highest of the bunch, and I simply can't understand that. I mean, if I'm going to chase anybody, it's going to be Seth Curry and Andre Drummond, who both look decent in their debut. I mean, Curry had a 31% usage rate. I don't think that was like just a one-game fluke, given the situation the Nets are in. You're getting him under 6K, and it's just a gift. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just putting him right in the lineup.
No, I listen, I've seen this in Philly, right? I when he's used for 30 to 35 minutes a game, he is pretty consistent. I mean, that's the biggest thing with Curry. I mean, I think he was overexposed a little bit in Philly because of just the way the system is here. I think this system fits him a lot more. And he, again, like you said it tonight, he's under 6,000, man. Yeah, I think he's going to ball out again. And his counterpart, right? Andre Drummond, probably another really good game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fashionable lately to take shots at Andre Drummond and the quality of NBA player he is, and you can go on about that all day. But the bottom line is he produces for fantasy, and that's really at the end of the day, unless you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, that's all I care about. This is a guy that put up 33 DK in 24 minutes in his first game with a new team. If he gets 30 minutes, I mean, he could absolutely destroy this price tag. When he gets minutes, he produces. And when he was in Detroit as one of the main focal points, you're paying like $8,500 for this guy some nights. He's under 6K again. And he should. There's no reason those two should have been under 6K with a day to adjust from DK. They're on the I put in the article, they're on the FanDuel timing as far as adjusting pricing.
Yeah, he's just number one. He's like a double machine if he can get his points, right? That's our biggest thing. If he could only create a nice shot and don't get on the free throw line because he has no shot at the free throw line. Always like Dwight Howard. But at the end of the day, listen, like you said, you're going to hear the word situation, and now we're not talking about the Jersey Shore, Mike. We're talking about the playing situation, right? The playing situation. A lot of these games are going to dictate what the usage rate is and dictate who we put in our cores. Jay's already checking in, says something about that Washington Indiana game I can't get away from. And me and Ghost, we were talking about this Indiana Washington game. So Ghost, what do you like about that game?
Everyone's gonna go to the backcourt and the tandem of Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield. I'm going to the front court. I absolutely love front courts against the Washington Wizards, and it's a very thin rotation. And you know what? Yeah, it's surprisingly filled up there at the 4 and the 5 for Indiana. You have Goga, you have Brissett, Terry Taylor is just apparently a 6'4" center now, just going out grabbing boards. So he's playing front court, he's playing the 3, he's going all over the place. But most of his minutes are coming in the front court with Lance Stevenson spelling those minutes for Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield when they do come off the court for all of 30 seconds. But man, there's a lot to love about this front court. But I'm pretty sure I speak for the both of us where my guy's going to be Jalen Smith. Yeah, he fouled out last game in 17 minutes.
But look what he did in those 17 minutes.
Look what he did in those 17 minutes. And this guy can absolutely cook a front court. And Washington's right up there with Charlotte, where my favorite wants to attack.
Yeah, listen, I think we're all in on a Jalen Smith train, and we'll talk about that a little later. That's going to come up, obviously, because he has been exceptional. And again, right situation again, right? Right situation. Indiana going through a lot out there as well. So just a lot of things to deal with. Now, again, there's a ton of games. So what I will say is just FYI, keep checking the news wires. Right now, it's 5:45. I'm telling you, we've talked about it all fair. You're going to see a lot is going to change. There's a lot of questionable tags out there, like in Houston. Christian Wood, questionable. Kevin Porter Jr., questionable, right? Are they going to play? I never predict injuries, but it seems like this year in the NBA, when a lot of guys are questionable late, they seem not to play. But, again, you got to keep it on it and adjust accordingly. But let's get right to the course here. And Adam, because you weren't with us last time, I want to go right to you. And get your thoughts. This is your core, and you can speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, so we already touched on Drummond and Seth. I just think they're
Yep.
just way too cheap, and I'm still pretty content with the Julius Randle run back. He should not be under 10,000 the way he's been playing. With RJ Barrett still out, so if you want to throw him kind of as an honorary member of that core, I'm not going to fight you. As far as Vucevic goes, he actually leads the Bulls in fantasy points per minute, just barely at 1.36 to 1.31 over DeRozan. DeRozan, of course, is going to score more raw points than him, but Vooch is $500 cheaper, and he's getting the Sacramento Kings front court, which I know they added Sabonis, but Sabonis isn't like anything terrifying on the defensive end that we need to be shying away from. So under 10K, Vooch is still wildly appealing. Sacramento's bottom 3 in rebounds allowed in the paint so far just fits Vooch's game right up his alley. Tyus Jones, that's me projecting Ja Morant probably out. He sat last night. He's starting in the All-Star game this weekend. I would be surprised if Morant plays. However, if he does, it's pretty easy to find a cheap pivot from Tyus Jones with like an Aaron Wiggins or something like that. Which Aaron Wiggins is one of the chalkiest players on the slate, but it's easy to get away from Tyus Jones.
That's a good point. Another injury situation, right? You have to look at that and see. Checking it says elite jerseys who are referenced. Say, you know where my mind goes, man. I can't help it, man. I can't help it. No Snooki references on this show, but I will say a situation reference, right? But Brian says I need to work with my boy Justice Wins High. Listen, Adam, fake reigning MVP. Adam knows. I'm still listen, B. I'm still getting used to these names. I'm hopping on a wagon. I have no idea who the sous chef is. So somebody has to help me out. The ghost, who's the sous chef?
That's Seth, because the
Wow.
chef is Chef Curry, so sous chef is Seth Curry.
I like this. I'm getting the on-air training. That's what we like to do here on Win Daily Sports. I like it. But again, you look at how to score. It's all about situation, right? And we talk about this all the time. Everybody's different. And again, little different. I like DeMar DeRozan tonight for the same reasons why I don't like Vooch. I just think he's in a really good spot, especially with those rebounding numbers. I love Trae Young tonight. Absolutely love Trae Young with his matchup. Again, when you're playing a team like Orlando, I really feel like he can excel and again exploit a lot of deficiencies that they have. And again, I'm going to keep riding the Mitchell Robinson wagon because I'm going to tell you what, and we just talked about this game. Even though Andre Drummond grabs a lot of boards, there's not a lot of defensive-minded players on the Brooklyn Nets right now. So I think, Mitchell Robinson can have a tremendous night on the boards once again. And I like Halliburton tonight. Again, there's no Duarte, there's no Brogdon, right? We talked about this in Indiana. He's going to play a ton. Listen, he could be a top scoring option for that team for the rest of the year, depending on injury. So tonight in that matchup, that's where I go. So Ghost, we'll go to you right away. I see a Toronto guy in there already. So let's get it, man.
I have so much riding on the Raptors tonight. It's not even funny, but so you guys know the ridiculous time that I wake up. First thing I did was absolutely slam Toronto money line. It was +1 at the time. And now they're up to 3.5 point favorites on some books. So that line has moved 4.5 points since I bet it. And I would still take the 3.5. The Raptors grade out ridiculously well for me tonight. Based on what I've been told, Fred's not playing tonight unless something changes. And that thing changing could be Anthony Edwards being active, who I'm also being told is not going to play. So It's all aboard the Pascal Siakam train against Karl Anthony Towns and his, I guess I could call it defense, whatever he does on his own end of the court. It's
They
not
played
really
a
defense.
OT thriller last night, man. They're gonna
They
be
did.
they're gonna be tired.
They absolutely did. Shout out to Charlotte for covering 6.5. Good teams win, great teams cover. Shout out Charlotte Hornets covering the 6.5.
Again, buddy. That was nervous.
I was woke up to that one and I was pretty thrilled about that one. But the boys got the job done, and Toronto's gonna get the job done again tonight. All these starters played ridiculous minutes. Ant also did not return in that game, and based on previous injuries that he's had this season and the last, he always comes back. And for him to not return a game, it must be pretty serious. And I think Minnesota takes the precautious side. So all aboard the Raptors tonight, and I will absolutely have a ton of Pascal Siakam. If you don't want to go all the way up to Siakam, you want to get one of the other guys we've been talking about with Vooch and DDR. You guys, DDR has been on my court for like the past 3 weeks, so I had to change it up a bit today there. So so if you want to go DDR, you want to go Vooch. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. You could go down to Gary Trent, and if you want to go in the mid range, Gary Trent, I'm more than okay with that. The rest is I put Donovan Mitchell in there, and I'm okay if you go D'Angelo Russell. I just said that I don't think Anthony Edwards plays. I will probably have both of them in my lineup. I have so much love for Donovan Mitchell, primary ball handler against the Lakers. The Lakers stole a game from them last time these two teams played. Rudy Gobert is back, and this one, Donovan Mitchell takes these games personally. It's on live TV, game before the All-Star break with LeBron James, with Anthony Davis. It's a big game for Donovan Mitchell with the whole nation watching. So I'm going to who Brian calls Boxhead. I absolutely love Donovan Mitchell tonight on the road against the Lakers. And then I won't touch too much on Jalen Smith. We already did a little bit, and I'll save the rest for Tony's FFVP. And Tyus Jones, look, like I said the other day, and I say this, pretty much every show, I'm okay eating some chalk as long as it's, worthy chalk. And Adam, I don't know if it's changed since you sent it to me, but if it's going to be Isaiah Roby and Bruce Brown and guys like that, I'm okay eating Tyus Jones chalk, especially at, near the stone cold minimum. If Ja sits again, if Ja doesn't end up playing in this game, then you need to play Tyus Jones. It's as simple as that. If Ja is active, I got a lot of love for Ja tonight, and he will be in my core. So it's going to be 1-for-1. If Ja is active, we're going 3 studs, Siakam, Mitchell, or if you prefer D'Lo, go D'Lo with Ja. And if Ja is out, go Tyus Jones. You absolutely have to eat that chalk. There's no going around it.
Yeah, I mean, I did 20 max last night, and I generally preach in the Discord you don't go 100% on any player. I overrode that and put Tyus Jones 100%. I'd rather lose with 100% of that. If he twists an ankle, he cannot fail if Ja is out at 3,100.
You have to play.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
You just have to eat that chalk tonight.
Yeah, there's no question.
That's what it is.
So we have a Joker question here. So Brian wants to know, is Joker too high priced tonight? I just know Golden State has 0 big men. Come on, B, you're not scared of Kevin Looney?
I don't think he's too high priced because we all know Jokic can be the highest scoring guy on any given slate. And we're going to have a ton of value. We already have some. I don't know, man. I love so many guys in that kind of 9K, 10K range tonight. I don't have anybody above, I think, like 10-5 even on my radar that heavily right now. And so it probably goes even lower if you don't count DDR and maybe Ja.
So I think you already touched on this, right? We already talked about Aaron Wiggins, which is very, very highly owned tonight, correct?
He is currently the chalkiest player on the slate, which will be Tyus Jones if we get news that Ja's inactive. But listen, Wiggins makes sense. I mean, they're down Dort. Now they're down. Who else are they down?
Down Ty Jerome also.
Ty Jerome.
I'm pretty sure I have to check Kenrick Williams also. I don't think Kenrick Williams is playing tonight.
He is not. So, I mean, they're down a ton of bodies in addition to Shea, who's been out for a couple weeks now. So I'm not going to fight anybody on Aaron Wiggins. Even though he's chalk, you just find a way. Like, if you end up playing Wiggins and you play Tyus Jones, there's going to be 2 highest owned guys in the slate. They're only 6,100. It is so easy to get different after that I'm more than all right eating those 2 guys and making a difference somewhere else in your lineup. because that's 6,100 for 2 spots. You have so much money to play with.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's what you have to look at. You got, like we always talk about, you got to check out the system every now and then, right? So that's, again, Wendell Sports. That's where you get these projection numbers from. Adam's reading it directly off of our spreadsheet. It's our projection model to show you what the ownership percentage is of these guys. So do I really want to get that guy, or maybe a guy that's owned 20% less? That could be maybe $100 less, but actually could work out more, could be the better option. So you really, really have to dissect that a lot. So let's get into the FFVPs, because this is a fun segment as always, because again, we bring this up because we like to hit on certain guys. Once we hit on those guys, we're good to go. That whether 3,000, 3,500, even 4,000 at times, maybe even for Adam, I bumped it up to 4,500 for him every now and then, but he's pretty good when he throws it in there. For tonight, now you already heard about me, Jaylen Smith. So Jalen Smith to me is a no-brainer at $3,900. He's under $4,000. If you watch them, and again, look, I look at numbers by price as well. Okay, so when Jalen Smith first started at the $3,000 minimum, okay, and he started to get starter minutes in 2 games, okay, he's over 20 points per game. You're getting 20 for 3,000. You're getting 36 for 3,200. Then you're getting 25 for 3,900. But he actually came off the bench the last game. But again, no matter what, Indiana in this game, he's going to get a ton of play because, again, of the situation. And he only, and this is straight off DraftKings, right? If you watch the game, he fouled out, so that which allowed Terry Taylor to get more minutes off the bench. So that's one thing you have to look out for. So that's why I like Jalen Smith. The same thing, I talked about this earlier, is why I like my other FFP, KJ Martin, for 3,600, because Houston, again, dealing with a lot of injuries. Okay, they're going against Phoenix, going to be a high-paced game, very quickly paced, and probably Phoenix is going to get up big, and Houston's going to be coming from behind, and they're going to get a lot of runs. For 3,600, if you look at KJ Martin, again, I don't know if Porter's playing, like he's questionable. Christian Wood, questionable, right? Schroeder, questionable. All these guys, questionable. So you have to look at where are the minutes going to come from, right? You always have to look at where the minutes going to come from. So for me, again, I really like to play 3,600. When I look at this, he's been in the teens, right? He's averaging between 15 and 18. Tonight, if he gets 30 minutes, I'm guessing he's going to get me 25 to 30. And I think that's a really big bump. Now, Ghost, you have a very interesting one down here. Talk about your man Peyton Pritchard, double P.
So this one's way out of left field. You guys know I always do that with my FFVPs. I'm not gonna put a Tyus Jones, a Jalen Smith. Like, those guys are in my core. Those are automatic FFVPs for me. Those are guys that I will 100% be playing. So if that counts as an FFVP, yeah, it's Tyus Jones and it's Jalen Smith 100% of the way. But I'm going way out of left field, and I'm going Peyton Pritchard tonight. Marcus Smart not playing in this game. Neither is Robert Williams. I assume that Grant Williams will get the start for Robert, and I honestly think Derek White starts in this game. Boston
just came across.
There we go. That's perfect. So
Look at that.
Boston needs him to come off the bench when it comes to their, I guess I'll say, imaginative playoff run, because they're not going deeper than the first round. But they need him coming off the bench. Tonight it's Peyton Pritchard, and he's a high usage guy. It's not going to be Aaron Nesmith. I don't want to hear about Aaron. I don't want to hear that name in the chat. So it's going to be Peyton Pritchard. Guys are going to go bombs away. They're 13-point favorites on a back-to-back. They have absolutely no reason to run Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown into the ground right now. It's 100% going to be their supporting cast that gets the job done. Al Horford, his knees are probably sore getting off the bus and getting into the locker room by now. Peyton Pritchard's he's going to run a ton of minutes for these Celtics tonight. And when we're talking about all the chalk on the slate, where is it? It's these $3,000 guards. Aaron Wiggins, Tyus Jones, everything like that. You don't need 40 out of Peyton Pritchard. You don't need 35. You don't need 50. You don't need anything other than for him to outscore those two guys. If those guys put up duds, doesn't matter how bad Peyton Pritchard does, as long as he outscores those two guys, you're flying ahead of thousands and thousands of people in your contest. So it's something to take into consideration with everybody rostering Aaron Wiggins and Tyus Jones, especially if they're both going to be in the same lineup. It also allows you to roster one by getting a little different with that second one if you want. Peyton Pritchard, 3,300.
And that's what it's all about, getting a little different, being unique. We say it all the time. Get a little different. I love it. Adam, do you have an FFVP or you just, because you got Tyus Jones in your core?
No, I mean, similar to Ghost, like, yes, those guys count. Yes, I'm going to be playing them. But a guy that I have my eye on, especially if Jeremy Lamb and Davion Mitchell end up being out, is Dante DiVincenzo for the Kings. I thought the Kings did really well in snagging him in that 14 deal and hopefully kind of giving him a bigger run. So in his 2 games with the team so far, 19, 27 minutes, he's taken 20 combined shots. 13 of them have been from deep. Yeah, he's not going to rack up 5 steals, just like we said with Bruce Brown in the last game. He scored 35, 10 came from steals. I get that. But if you're going to put this guy on the court for 28, 30 minutes, especially if Davion's out, Terrence Davis is out, Jeremy Lamb could be out. If these guys are all out, they're starting to get a little bit thin as far as backups go. DiVincenzo might be able to get 30 minutes on court. And this game has a 232 total. That's a really cheap way to get into it. And just like Ghost said, yeah, he's a little bit more expensive than the Wiggins of the world. But, man, I got him at 1% last night. 1%. He's at 0.6 right now. That right there is enough if he does well.
I love that play. I love that. I was watching him go off again, Villanova's own. I'm watching him go off, and I'm like, man, Sacramento got a really nice player here, man. I love that move. I do. I love that move. It's a great point because, again, he almost had a double last game too. I mean, he was 12 and 8. 2 more. And again, too, Brooklyn. So, right. I mean, I think any one of us could probably get a freaking double against Brooklyn. I don't think it would have mattered, right? But that's funny, man. Jimmy says Al Horford is sore by just watching the game on TV. Listen, man, I hate Al Horford. I really do. He boned us in Philadelphia. That's all I gotta say. So I can't stand Al. I can't stand that Joe tried to do a step back hard and 3 the other night, and Al swatted it away too, man. That was
Daryl Morey was there for all 5 minutes before he shipped like a countless amount of picks just to get rid of that contract. It was absolutely hysterical. He was there for all of 5 minutes, and the first thing he did was
I can't handle this. I can't handle this. Get out.
It was so funny.
Oh my God, it was so funny. But listen, we're gonna get into our favorite segment, Props for Profit. We got some really good plus money bets for tonight, even some really small, minus 105, minus 110, which is still good. But again, we really try to get you the best bang for the buck, and they're good. Again, on Twitter, if you have one, make sure at Win Daily Sports, give us a follow. Sponsored by the Sharp app, your one-stop shop for all things sports betting. You see the hat, you get there, get the download. I think you get right now. If you go and download the Sharp app, you get 3 months free of Win Daily. So make sure you go do that now. But props for profit, hashtag props for profit. Listen, there's a good way to get into some of these games. Adam had a good point. He said, when he talked about Dante DiVincenzo for 3,900, it's a good, cheap way to get a high scoring option in a high scoring game, right? So we're going to look at that. So sometimes you can get these props for profit in there as well. I'm going to be really happy with this play right here. He's going to love me when I'm going Zach Collins over 4.5 rebounds. Listen, plus 400. I mean, plus 100 for 4.5 rebounds. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. I'm going to tell you why. He, in 4 games, he's averaging 4+. He started off really good. He had 7 and 7. Then he dropped down to 4 and he dropped down to 2. But again, tonight, that's going to be a game where there's going to be a lot of rebounds because I think that's San Antonio is going to be playing from behind, in my opinion. We'll see how it works, but I really do. I mean, OKC is going to be playing from behind. San Antonio is going to go. You already heard nobody's playing for OKC. So San Antonio is going to score a lot of points. There'll be a lot of boards going around. So again, Zach Collins, to me, over 4.5, I think is a really good number. He's going to get back on those first 2 games he played and get back in the win column. And then I want to go Wendell Carter Jr. I know it's over 10.5 rebounds, okay? It's over double digit for plus 100. But what I will tell you is he's averaging at least 10 over his last 11 games. And the last meeting, okay, the last time they played Atlanta, 18 boards for Wendell Carter Jr. So for me, plus money, I'm going to hit that all day. And then I got a big plus money bet here. You know how I like the double doubles, the triple doubles out of nowhere. I really like this one. Okay, this is a DK special. Seth Curry Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, 20 plus points at plus 750. And again, Randle has been hitting this 6+ games. Fournier has hit this 3 out of 4 games. And Seth Curry, his first run, 23 points with the Brooklyn Nets. So I really, really like this. That plus 750 is a really generous number. I got it in at 5 o'clock. I don't know if the number changed at all. That was at 5 o'clock on DK, but it was at plus 750 when I first put it in. So really, really, really like that bet. Adam, I'm going to go right to you. There you go. Take it away, D-Lo.
Yeah, I mean, like Ghost said, I don't expect Anthony Edwards to play in this game at all. With him off the court, it's much more concentrated between Cat and D'Lo. He averages right about 24, 25 as it is. So taking Edwards and his hero ball off the court just makes it that much easier for him to hit it. I mean, if you look at last night, Ant didn't play the second half. Russell hit 18 and 11, right? So he's got 29. Man shot 4 of 14 and 5 of 20 from the field. He only hit 5 shots and still hit this mark. He's not shooting 5 for 20 again. He's just not going to. I understand it's back-to-back. I get all that. He's a young guy. He'll be fine. There's no way he doesn't hit this if Anthony Edwards sits, in my opinion.
Love it. And going to the drum train.
We were joking before he came on that I have just entirely too much on Andre Drummond tonight. I'm a little uncomfortable with it. But listen, this is a guy who he shouldn't be plus 135 to double-double. Like, he's averaging 18 minutes a game this year. He's averaging 6.2 points and 8 rebounds. Like, what are we talking? 8.8 rebounds. Sorry, that he's getting close to a double-double in 18 minutes. If he plays 30 minutes, he might double-double by halftime. Like, I didn't understand this number at all. It's just you just have to play the odds on that. 135 is just a silly number.
I agree. They're going to Gallinari, huh?
Yeah, this one I would be straight up. I would not do a full unit on this because Gallo can be a little dicey. His minutes are not necessarily guaranteed, even though John Collins is out for the Hawks. But you look, and he's still shooting 39.2% from deep this year in his action. Orlando allows the 5th highest 3-point field goal percentage in the league. This is a bad defensive team. I mean, the potential is there. Like, he played over 30 minutes in his last game and went 3 of 7. So it's definitely there. Like I said, I wouldn't go full unit on this, but that return for plus 150 is too good to pass up as well.
You got to do it sometimes. Sometimes you got to do it. And we got a same game parlay we're going to cook up in a minute. We get the Ghost's process. I'm going to go to the SGP to end this show. So, Ghost, what do you got here, man? Goga, huh?
Indiana guys versus Washington front court. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I have Goga for 35 minutes. I don't have him for a ton of minutes, but I don't 5.5 at plus money just makes no sense. All the guy does is rebound, and he shoots threes, and he rebounds, and he shoots threes, and he rebounds. Like, against a team that can't hit a shot. KCP's chalking up bricks. KCP's chalking up bricks for the first 6 minutes of the game. He might hit that in the first 6 minutes. So I love Goga over 5.5 rebounds at plus money. It makes no sense to me. It's the boy. It's
nothing else to say, right?
You play all-star snubs in their last game before All-Star weekend. Period.
Ooh, I like that. I
Always.
do. I like that. And now you got a double one here. Look at this. We got Utah combo.
Rudy Gobert at 12.5 rebounds. Like, I'll either look like a genius or I'm gonna look like the biggest fish. Like, I'm gonna look like I was starring in Nemo in its prime, man. Like, this number makes negative sense.
Oh, man.
They need him on the court for as many minutes as possible. And I don't want to touch P+R. I don't want to touch his points. They refuse to give Rudy Gobert the ball on the block. So 12.5 rebounds makes negative sense. He might grab 13 rebounds just off of Russell Westbrook misses tonight.
Is Russell Westbrook going to shoot 13 shots though?
Like,
he's crawled into a hole.
12.5 makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And then Donovan Mitchell he gets up for these games, man. Primary ball handlers versus LA, they have negative defense on the perimeter because LeBron's just not into that in the regular season. He's been there, done that for way too long. He doesn't care about that right now. He's not D'ing up Steph. He's not D'ing up any of these guys until playoffs come around. Donovan Mitchell, 30 plus. I like the over on his points prop as it is at 24.5 if you want to go a bit safer. But if you want to juice it up to get a pretty ridiculous number, 30 plus, so over 29.5 or 30 plus 200. That's a great number for Donovan Mitchell tonight.
Say it all the time, man. Big money players in big time spots equal production.
It's on national TV. It's a national TV game, and
they come out, man.
I love it.
Yeah, Spider comes out in those moments, man. You know that.
Just for context, Gobert averages 14.9 points a game.
Bro, I don't get it.
Like, I'm telling you,
I shipped the farm on this one, and I'm either gonna look like a genius or I'm gonna look like I starred in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. I don't know what to say. Like, it's just that's what it is, and
that's a wild line to me.
12.5 makes no sense. Not at plus money, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. Now, Ivan says, would you move D'Lo total to 29.5 and take PRA?
No, there's no real reason for it. I don't want to bank on him getting some extra rebounds. I mean, I feel comfortable with him getting close to 30 just on points and assists, but why introduce that extra into that?
So Jimmy says, why is no one taking DeJounte? I don't. He was in my core to start out, man. Honestly, DeJounte was in my core, and then I just decided, I don't know, man. That game I get scared of these games against bad teams sometimes, especially before the All-Star break. I get really scared. This is the time where, if you have a matchup, in my opinion, where it looks like it may go south, the odds are of these studs sitting is a lot greater now than it was 3 weeks ago, especially with only, a game or so left and they get a big break. So that's the only reason why I went to Trae Young instead of DeJounte Murray, because he was a little less money and I thought I had better chance for more minutes. But Al checking in. What up, Al? As always, thanks for tuning in. But let's get to the same game parlay because, Adam hit us with this. And again, now, he mentioned about a lot of faith in Drum tonight, so we're going to throw some more Drum faith in here. There you go, Adam. You're up.
Yeah, I mean, we talked. Seth Curry had a 31% usage rate. With no Kyrie, no Durant, they need offense. Patty Mills has been pretty much just a 3-point guy, not much else for them this season. So the 3-pointers and the 4 dimes from Seth, I feel pretty comfortable with. Julius Randle, man, since Barrett's been out, it seems to have sparked him. He's playing a lot better. He's underpriced in DFS. 24 points should be not that big of an issue for him. Again, in the last month, the Nets have a defensive rating of 120. The Rockets are at 115 over the season. I mean, when we say they've been bleeding points, I can't make it any clearer than that. They would be 5 points worse than the worst defensive team in the past month. Don't get fooled because the Kings only scored 85. They shot 34% from the floor. I don't think it's going to happen again tonight. And then, if I feel confident on the Drum double-double to take it on its own, obviously plus 135 really jacks up the return on the single-game parlay. So, like we always say, man, when it's plus 550, be smart with your money. Don't be betting, 2-3 units on this. It's a pizza money bet. Single-game parlays are going to miss more often than they hit. But 550 return for that, those are all, very attainable numbers.
You got to be a couple Don Julios deep before you place this one.
What's that?
It's Wet Wednesday. You got to be a couple Don Julios deep before you end up placing this one. It's Wet Wednesday. You have to. You absolutely have to.
Wednesday. I love it. There's nothing. Speaking of Wet Wednesday, nothing like that sweat of a same game parlay in a game where you need that extra rebound or assist, man.
Trez missed it for me last night by 1. I was so mad.
Let's not talk about Montrezl Harrell.
Hey, he outscored Capella, at least. That's all I cared about last night.
Yeah.
He outscored Capella.
That's awesome. But anyway, listen, boys, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And when you get those bets in at 6:15, get those lineups in. You've seen the core. Make sure you hop in, get Discord. Make sure you follow us at Win Daily Sports. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you smash the subscription button. Pros for Profit, FFVP, Ghost and Adams article every single day. And as always, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We got one more day, then we get a break, boys. Again, nice, much needed relaxation. We're gonna need it. So let's bang it out tonight. We'll bang one more show out tomorrow. Then we'll be off for a few days. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Good luck betting. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.